says acceptance of invitation. So on behalf of Regional Center of Bhubaneswar, on behalf of School of Health Science, on Toto Indira Gandhi National Open University, is welcome you, ma'am. So today's class, ma'am is going to deliver a planning and training and how to handle waste management. So basically, this is the topic ma'am is going to deliver. So thank you, ma'am, for your smart acceptance of our invitation. So I hand over the session to you, ma'am. You can start your class, ma'am.
Sir, I would like to know how many students are there. Have all the students joined? How many are there, sir? I can't hear you.
Ma'am, you can start your class. Around 9 students are there.
Okay.
So hardly 15 students, 16 students are joining. Okay. So we are recording the class. You after completion of the class, you can send the recording to them. No issue. You can start your class, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Okay, welcome all to this session on training for the waste handlers. I will open my PowerPoint presentation. So I need to share the screen. Is it visible?
No, ma'am.
It's not showing us a share screen.
Not visible, ma'am.
Yeah, it is not showing the share screen, no?
Your microphone is on. Ma'am, you can directly do it. You are not, I mean, there is no rights is not required. You can directly share your screen.
Directly share the screen, no?
Yes,
Okay. Is it visible now?
Not yet.
Now?
No, ma'am, not visible.
Sir?
Your microphone. Because you are not blocked in our side. All the presenters are presenting their screen. It's not record anything from outside, ma'am.
Then how do it's not visible to them, they're saying.
Because we are not doing anything from our side. Because those are blocked, they can keep the rights. We are not blocked anything. You can share your screen and you can present.
They're not able to see my screen. Or I can directly speak?
Yeah, that's up to you.
Okay, without the PowerPoint being visible to them, right? Okay, can I go ahead then?
मैडम आपका जो स्क्रीन में शेयर स्क्रीन दिखा रहा होगा उसको आप क्लिक कीजिए ना हो जाएगा
क्या सर
प्रेजेंट नाउ इज देयर ना प्रेजेंट नाउ
but see what is coming here. Chrome tab window, entire screen is showing. Oh, here.
If you click present now.
Yeah. Now can you see?
DR Shalini Prati left parent outside in
Yeah.
Now
yes.
By DR Shalini
okay.
To the main screen. The presentation by DR Shalini Prati was on the main screen.
Now it's come.
Yes. So now this is a session on planning a training program for waste handlers. So I would like to start off with saying before we do this program, we need to communicate to them. So what is this communication? It is a two-way process of exchange or sharing of ideas, the feeling, the attitudes, emotions, and information. So this is how we communicate, and it could be a sharing of such ideas or feelings. And by doing this, by communicating, we pave a way for decide the change in the human behavior. And there are certain goals. What are the predetermined goals that we are having now? Can any one of you tell me that? What is a predetermined goal that we are having at present? That is to train the waste handlers, isn't it? So to train the waste handlers, is it a challenge to train the waste handlers? I'm not able to hear any one of y'all.
Definitely, madam.
It is.
Ma'am.
Yes, it is a challenge. Why do you say it is a challenge?
Because if they have no idea or no knowledge about, they cannot
Ah,
segregate the biomedical waste.
okay. So we need to make them aware of this, isn't it?
Yeah.
First of all, it is their educational background. They don't have any education. Okay. Language may be a barrier.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what else may be a barrier for a challenge for us? Have you not noticed in the hospitals that these waste handlers, they leave the job very quickly? They are on contract basis, so they keep changing their jobs, isn't it? So it is quite difficult for us to keep training them each and every time, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So if we have to communicate to them, there is a sender. Who is a sender here? Who is a sender here? It is us, isn't it? We as healthcare personnel, we need to send. And what is the message that we need to send? How are we going to do it? What is a channel of communication? What are the various channels of communication? What is the most effective way of communication? And then who is the receiver? Will the receiver, that is the waste handler, will he be able to understand what we have told? Isn't it? So these are the challenges that we are going to face when we have any communication or any awareness program for the waste handlers. So, as a sender, as a healthcare personnel, what should we know? What we must do? Our objectives should be clearly defined. So, your objective is what it should be. We always say that your objective should be very smart. What do you mean by smart objectives? Smart. Can you tell me the acronym is SMART? Okay, S stands for specific. The objective should be specific. M is measurable. A is attainable. R is realistic. And T is time bound. Can you, one of you repeat it? SMART objectives?
Specific,
Hmm.
measurable,
Yes.
attainable,
Hmm.
realistic, and time bound.
Very good. So these are the objectives. So when we form any objectives, any study that we do, we have to look into all these. Okay. What is the audience? The audience interest and the needs. For example, for a waste handler, if I sit and talk to them about the rules and regulations, biomedical waste management rules, is it needed for them? Is it needed or not?
Definitely needed.
It is needed. But should I talk in elaborate or
Yes.
just what is that rule? You have to follow that rule, isn't it? That's what I'm going to tell him, that this is the rule. Based on that rule, these are the things you have to do, you should do, isn't it?
Yes.
And the interest of the audience, how do I keep the interest of the audience? How do I keep the interest of the audience? For here, the audience is the waste handler. How do I see that he's interested in my topic? So whatever is relevant to him, only I should speak. What is not relevant to him,
Could not.
should not speak in elaborate, isn't it? So the interest
Yes.
and the needs of the waste handlers, I should first find out what is the interest and the need of the waste handlers. Based on that, I should decide what is needed for him. The message. What is the message? I want to convey to him that if you don't follow the rules, okay, if you don't follow the biomedical waste management rules, then you are going to make all your waste infectious waste. You are going to mix all the infectious and the non-infectious waste, and you are going to harm yourself in the process, isn't it? That is my message. What is the channel of communication? How will I communicate to him? Lecture. How long will he listen to my lecture? 10 minutes, 15 minutes. After that, he'll get bored, isn't it? Our attention span itself is only for 10 to 12 minutes. So, beyond that, since it is too very technical for him, he may not like to listen. Okay, his professional abilities and limitations. His professional abilities is almost nil. Limitations is he's not used to sitting in a classroom and listening to a lecture, isn't it? His work is only to collect the waste and to put it in the appropriate storage room, isn't it? So his limitation is he knows only this much. Beyond this, he's not well versed with the biomedical waste management. Avoid technical jargons. We should not use technical terms where he's not able to understand. So his understanding capacity we have to see, and how much he can understand. Only what is relevant for him, what he can understand should only be put across to him. Okay. Encourage interaction with trainees. So when you're
Ma'am, excuse me. Are you
yes,
showing any slide, ma'am?
the slide is still there, no?
No, only first slide is there.
No, ma'am.
Why, what happened? One after the other I'm showing. Okay, I'll go back again, stop sharing. Now?
No, ma'am.
Now?
This one, the
Yes.
first slide.
You saw only the first slide. The second slide? Now?
Center, no.
Now?
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, from
You can see now, no?
yeah, we can see. That's all.
Okay. So you have to encourage interaction with the trainees. Why do you want that interaction? We want that interaction so that,
So we have to share the information, whatever we have taught. In that
yeah,
way.
you're sharing the information, but apart from that, you're having an interaction with the trainees. Why are you having that interaction? Is because if they have any doubts, they will
Yeah.
they will ask us. So based on their doubts, we'll have to clarify the doubts. So that's the reason why we need that interaction. So it is not a one-sided way of lecture where you keep talking and they keep listening to you. You should allow them to interact with you so that you know they are on the same page as yours, right? And secondly, to know whether they have understood what you're explaining to them. So that's the reason why we need this interaction with the trainees. What are the barriers to communication? As I already told you, what is specific for them? It should be such that there's not too much of information. As I already told you, the entire biomedical waste management need not be explained to them. If you have to talk about the entire biomedical waste management, you need a full day to do the training. But for these people, it is just what is required for them, what they're supposed to do, what they're not supposed to do is what we are teaching them. So too much of information is also a barrier, and giving very detailed information or complicated information is also not necessary. So among these two, we feel that written information is better. That means you put it across to them on the either on the paper or on the chalk and board or on a OHP or on a computer. So this written information should also be in the local language. If you're writing it also, it should be in the local language, so that there may be some people who have done their primary schooling, so in their local language they'll be at least able to read it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Then there may be problem when we are also writing the message. Sometimes they misinterpret it. So we'll have to ask them what they've understood by that message, so that by asking them, you also come to know whether they have understood it in the right way. So they should understand the same thing what you are talking to them. What I talk to you all, you may have understood, may not have understood. So I have to ask you all back some questions to know whether you have understood, isn't it? So that is the way we should be able to communicate to each other. And see, we are all adult learners, including the waste handlers. Okay. So, what is it that we need as adult learners? We need to be motivated. Motivation is the reason for us to learn something, isn't it? So, it should be self directed. If I want to learn something, I should be interested in it. So, the motivation should come within me. Okay. So, it should be self directed. And adult learners are usually people who have rich experience in, for example, if you take the waste handlers, they may be having some rich experience in that particular field. They would have worked in that. Okay. So you ask them questions and they tell you what are the problems they have faced, So their experience is what we can make out from the adult learning. They are goal oriented because they have come here to work as waste handlers. So their goal is to do their work properly. So they are goal
Slide is
oriented.
not moving.
Huh? Yes.
Slide is not moving, ma'am.
Slide is not moving. I'm still in that slide, adult learning. Are you seeing that?
Most no, his
No, ma'am.
objective clearly defined this one only.
Center must know. We are in the side. Center must know.
Which I'm not able to. Yeah, please tell me what your problem you're facing.
Hello.
Yes.
Ma'am, still we are in sender must know. This only slides.
Huh?
Adult
Sender
learning.
must know only in that slide you'll are. Huh?
Yeah.
Why it's not moving? Huh? The next slide you'll have not seen then. Sender must know you're finished, isn't it? Barriers to communication you are able to see.
No.
No, ma'am. It is not. No, just now.
Just
Huh?
now.
It is seen. Just now. It is seen.
It's seen now.
Okay.
So I'll leave it like this only. I won't have it in the full screen. Okay.
Okay. Does not better, ma'am.
This adult learning, can you see?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, then I'll continue like this only. Okay, so it should be relevant to them and practical because by just theory they will not be able to, they will not be motivated to learn. So we should have some practical classes for them to demonstrate the various types of learning. Okay. And adult learning we need to reinforce also. See, that's why we say refresher training has to be given again and again, so that they realize what are the mistakes they have done, and that reinforcement will make them to do the things in the right way. Okay. So their intention is to serve mankind, isn't it? Because of the noble cause for which they are working. It will be a personal development for them because it will help them to, they may get incentives for the work that they're doing. So it is a personal development also, and it stimulates their learning. Adults are also able to retain most of it, and the transference of this knowledge to their younger siblings or to the generations will help because they are adult learners. So the methods of teaching, instructor centered, that is where I am instructing you. What are the instructions that I give you? That is a method of teaching where I want all the information to be passed on to you all. That is the instructor centered method of teaching. The other one is content centered. That is where I want the content to be sent across to you all. Okay. So I want all the contents to go into this teaching session. Learner centered. There I want certain things which the learner should know and which is important for him to know. There are so many, like in any book, there are many ideas, many information that is, there is a diary of information, you can say. But among them, which one is the important one is what for the learner. Like in an exam, if you take a class in a particular subject, you will teach the students in such a way that they are able to concentrate. We concentrate more on what are the questions which are oriented for the exam. So that is learner centered. We want the student to do well in the exam, so that must know areas will be taught to them. That is the learner centered. Okay. Participatory learning is where all of us join together. I learn, the healthcare personnel learn, and the waste handlers learn. So all of us, by participatory learning, we are able to get the information and also pass on the information to the various groups of people. Okay, so how can we do this? So this is how I am doing now. It's a lecture. The advantage is the most common form of communication. I make some notes. I'm making these notes and I'm presenting it to you all. And unfortunately, it is not. Are you all able to see me? No.
Yes, ma'am, we are able to see the PPT.
Slides, but are you able to see me?
No, ma'am.
Yeah. So in a lecture, there is face-to-face learning. Okay. So the teacher and the student are face-to-face. So the teacher teaches the student and the student learns from the teacher. Disadvantages, it can become monotonous. It can become boring. There are some teachers who have the same tone of the voice from the beginning till the end. Okay. So it can become monotonous and boring. It can put the student to sleep also. And in a lecture, there are no prompts. Nobody is allowed. It's like a one-way channel of communication. There's no prompts. And for a slow learner or for a new learner, for example, a waste handler who is a new learner, it is difficult for them because they can't, if they have anything, any doubts, they can't ask questions during the lecture. Okay. Next is tutorials. Tutorials is like a small group discussion. The advantages is a better interaction with the learner, and individual attention is given to the learner. He can demonstrate and elaborate. The teacher can demonstrate and elaborate. It is an effective forum for the student to understand. It also allows the student to explore the other methods, okay, and also to be able to explore to understand the various ways of learning this session. Next is discussion. This discussion, how is it different from tutorials? Tutorials usually is actually a small group discussion. In discussion, it can be a one-to-one or it can be a group discussion. So there are certain topics which can be done on a group discussion, certain things which can be done on a one-to-one basis. Okay, so certain topics which need clarification can be done through discussion. It also builds confidence in the learner because by clarifying certain topics, they know that there are certain things which they would have done as a mistake. So by listening to this, they develop confidence. And as I already told you, demonstration. Practically, if you demonstrate, it is very relevant for the healthcare worker and it is the most effective method. Because when you demonstrate, seeing is believing, isn't it? By seeing, they are able to comprehend better. Am I right? Out of all these, which is the best? Out of all these forms of communication, which one is the best?
Demonstrations.
Practically, demonstrating is
Yes,
the
yes.
best form of
Seeing is believing.
communication. Yes?
Seeing is believing.
Yeah, seeing is believing. Yes. It could also be work-based experiential learning. That is induction. That is induction training that we have. Okay. Then you assess them. Okay. They give their reflections. Okay. Debriefing. We debrief. We start with the induction and then we debrief. What all are the things that we have discussed? We reflect on it. Then we do the monitoring. After we finish all this, no, then we go back to them. We monitor how they do it. So this is like a cycle of learning. Experiential learning is like a cycle. So once the monitoring is done, where there are problems, we try to correct it then and there. Okay. So for these advantages of this is you can get extra workers at low cost. Okay. And this can be a student reflection as a recruitment criteria. Okay. So the students' reflection will help us in their recruitment also, because when they reflect, you know where the chances of them being taken up for the job is more. Okay. Pool of people with new ideas. So when you do this experiential learning, you have a pool of people who have new ideas, and those ideas like brainstorming it is, where those ideas are put together and then we try to formulate a new learning process. So it is here that we do theory is put into practice. And then if you have this experiential learning, there is, that the work culture is like this in this particular hospital, you're aware of it. So when you're aware of this, you know that you can make changes whenever needed. And you also develop a personal attributes. That is, you develop that confidence in yourself that I am able to do it well, and I am able to handle new ideas. I am able to give new ideas to the people working here. Do you feel this work-based experiential learning is really good based on all these advantages?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So can you implement this in your workplace? Yes. Can you?
Okay, ma'am. We will try to implement this
Yeah, you
in
will
our
try to implement. See, all the advantages may not be there, but to some extent, at least one or two advantages you will notice in your own workplace. So those are the various methods. Then we have audio visual aids. That is, what are the aids that we use? Okay. So it is chalkboard. What are the advantages of chalkboard? It is low cost, easily available, and it is real time teaching. That is one more thing, real time teaching. You can't have recorded videos and then see it whenever you want. This is real time. So you have to be present in the class to be able to understand or hear the topic. Okay. Disadvantages is it may not be legible, isn't it? Because each one of us have a different way of of writing, especially doctors. It may not be legible. Secondly, it may not, the material that you have to have with you should be already planned in your mind, isn't it? So you should have a pre-planned material. And disadvantage more is loss of eye contact. And I'm looking at the chalk and the board, I'm busy writing on the board. So that eye to eye contact with the student is not possible. And if I have that eye to eye contact, there are many advantages. What are the advantages if I have eye to eye contact?
Hello.
Yeah, what are the advantages if I have an eye to eye contact with the student?
Proper concentrations.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can make out whether student is concentrating well or not. Yes, then
They will not feel boring.
body language, you can make out the body language, isn't it? If they are
Yeah.
very fidgety or they are not concentrating, they are their body language, their mannerisms itself will tell us what is the problem, isn't it? So that eye to eye contact, if it is not there, I will not. When my back is on the board, people can, students can be talking to themselves. They can discuss something else apart from what I am writing on the board, right? So this is the disadvantage. Next is OHP. Okay, it serves as a prompter. Okay, and students can see, it is easy to prepare, isn't it? OHP sheets we have, we can write on those OHPs. And once we write it on the OHP sheets, it lasts long. You can keep it with you. The same things can be used in the next class also, isn't it? But disadvantages is high recurring cost. You need an OHP projector, isn't it? So there is a, if the bulb of that projector is gone, then the cost for that replacement of the bulb is also required. It is power dependent. If there's no power, the OHP shuts off, then how do I continue my class? Unless I am well prepared for the class, I cannot continue the class, right? Don't you think so? If it is loss of power, if I'm not prepared, don't you think so? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
If I'm not prepared for the class and if the power failure is there, then what do? I will stop the class until we will continue in the next class. Is that a possibility?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, yes.
Ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Next one is slide with projector. It is similar to the OHP, but the disadvantage is you can put only less material per slide. So not much can be done in these slide with projector. And now all these are obsolete, isn't it? Do you still
Yeah.
have OHP with projector, slide with projector? No, no. It has become very obsolete. That means it is no more used.
No more use. Yeah.
Yes. Then last, coming to flip chart and posters. These are the most effective ways of communication, especially for a waste handler. Why? Because it is,
Very
what is
easy
that
to
one?
see.
Huh?
Very easy to see. We can teach them whatever they will see the pictures in the
Yeah,
picture.
very good. It is pictorial. Because it is pictorial, it is eye catching for them. The more pictorial you make it, the more it is impressive for them. They will have that attention. Their attention is drawn towards those pictorial,
Today,
yeah, images. Okay.
yes.
So posters
Actually,
also same way. But the posters, what we are happens is posters should not be overcrowded. They should not be too much of matter in it. It must be more of pictorial rather than matter, isn't it? Matter should be just one or two sentences. Okay. Between the two, which one would you prefer? Flip chart or posters? The size also of the poster also will vary, isn't it? And the posters could be A4 size, A3 size. And if it is A4 size, it is easier to handle it, carry it along with you. If it is A3 size, it is bigger in size. You may tend to fold the posters and then it loses its, what do you say, the you have creases on those posters. So it may not be very aesthetically, it may not look nice, isn't it? So posters is, that is the this. Now tell me, what is difference between flip chart and poster?
ma'am, Flipchart, we can uh, teach the uh, handlers by
Mm,
pictorial images,
mm,
whereas in posters,
mm.
we can mm, show them the pictures as well as the whatever we have written in the posters.
Okay, so that is one difference which you told me. Okay, poster can be single. isn't it? Whereas
To the single.
flip
Ah,
chart will have at least 5 to 10 pages in it, isn't it?
yeah.
In the flip chart, what is shown to the healthcare worker will be on the other side, and then the side which is towards you, what will you have in the flip chart?
The same thing.
The matter will be written. That's the difference. The matter will be written in the flip chart on the side which is towards your side. The side which is towards the waste handler will have the photograph, isn't
Photograph.
it?
Yeah.
Yes. Whereas in a poster, both are put together. So in the poster, even the matter is put and the image is put. So the matter should be little less. Poster size, the images should be little bigger. That is the difference. Okay. That is the difference between the two. So based on the necessity, you can decide on either posters or flip chart. If your posters, if you want to display it somewhere, a poster is better. If you That's a best option. If you want to just use a flip chart, it can be used for handling the sessions or for teaching the healthcare workers. So depends on the necessity and what type of learners are there with you. Okay. Whatever AV aid you're using, keep it large and legible. Font size should be big, If you have, and you can't have more than 50 people, because if you have more than 50 people, the font size can't be enlarged even more than that. So maximum you can have 30 to 40 people for these type of AV aids. And when you have these AV aids, you have to plan ahead, well ahead of what you want to do and how you want to do it. Okay. There should be eye contact when you are doing this sort of teaching sessions. Okay. Limit the information on each slide. That's what we say. The slides should be such that it should not have more than 7 words, not more than 7 lines. Okay. And when you're doing this, you should see that you don't block the students' view. The students should be able to see. You should not go in between and handle this. So when you're preparing for a training program, you should arrange yourself in such a way that you're standing away from the AV aid. You should not block the AV aid. Okay. And when you're showing these things, you should give sufficient time for the student to be able to read and to note it down. Okay. So this is all about what you need to know before you start a training program, isn't it? These are the things, prerequisites for a training program. Now, how do you plan a training program? You should first find out who's the background, who are the people who are coming for your training program, the waste handlers. Are there people who are just joined the job, or are they going to retire? Because it depends. See, those who are going to retire, they may not have that interest to stay back, because they feel, after all, I'm not going to be here. So what is the need for me to learn at this point of time? Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, ma'am.
Yeah. And educational background. See, when we did a training program on this healthcare waste management in 5 states in India, we saw that in some of the states, these people who are waste handlers are actually degree holders. They were degree holders and they joined. In fact, we asked them, what is the reason for you to join this job? They said that we will be made, initially we are on contract, we'll be made on regular basis, and the salary that we get will be more than what a degree holder will get. So this is the sad part of it. And we also should know that some of them maybe from the lower socioeconomic status, so they may not understand the language. If you are using, even if you're speaking the local language, you have to use local terms which they use. We should not, in the local language itself, we should not use high words for them not to understand. So this is the thing. Then we should find out whether they are with motivation or without motivation, because there are some without motivation who will influence the others in the group. Okay, so motivated people should be brought together. Those are not motivated, we'll have to see something like giving them an incentive or disincentive. Sometimes incentives act help, sometimes disincentives also help. When do disincentives help? Incentives means when you give them some gifts or something, that you've done well in your job, so you give them incentive. Huh? Disincentive means you have not done your work properly today. I'm not going. I'm cutting half of your this one leave for today. I'm not. I'm giving you. Uh, what do you say? You have to apply for leave because you have not worked well. So you lose a day's leave because you have done this mistake. That is a disincentive, isn't it? Don't you feel that is as a disincentive? Or
That means I am allowing you leave though your work is poor today.
hmm?
I am allowing you on leave though you have not doing your duty properly.
Yeah. So you're losing 1 day's pay. You can lose 1 day's pay
Yeah,
also. Okay.
also.
So this is another way of penalty for them for not working properly, isn't it? I think first disincentives work and then incentives work.
Okay.
Okay, experience. Those with experience are able to do it better, isn't it? So the years of experience of those waste handlers you have to find out. Okay. And whether there's any language barrier, you'll have to understand that before you conduct this program. Who are the people who should be in this training program is the waste handlers in the labs, those who are transporting the waste, the cleaners who are collecting from the wards, and those who are working the storerooms, which is involved in maintenance. So these are the people whom you should bring them together for the training program. What is the content you will talk about? Introduction to the rules, that as we already discussed, rules, why he is doing this, why he should segregate the waste, why he should continue to keep it in the four color coded bins. So he should know that reason, the categories of waste and the segregation he should know, so that he does not mix the waste and take it to the sub center. He should know a little about disinfection, though it is not his job, still he should know a little about disinfection. Sharps and their handling, because if in case he has the which sharps goes into which container, puncture proof,
Leak proof, puncture proof, leak proof,
White
white container.
container.
huh?
White container.
White
white,
container puncture
white
proof.
container, yes. So there may be chances that he may get pricked in that, no, or sometimes if the segregation of waste is not done properly, if it goes into one of the color coded liners, it may prick him. So he should know about sharps and their handling. Okay.
Needle stick injury.
Needle stick injuries, because of needle stick injuries. Then he should know what are the final disposal options. Why he should know that? Because if you don't tell him what is the final disposal options, he'll be wondering, why am I doing this job? Is it necessary for me? Isn't it? So finally, what happens to those waste, he should know, so that he realizes that his job is equally important for the segregation, right? Then he should know what are the PPE to be worn, what are the PPE he should wear. When he's transporting the waste. What are the PPEs? Personal protective
Personal
equipment.
property equipment
Yeah.
for prevent infections.
Yeah. What are
For,
the? Yeah. What does he wear?
Good gum,
gown, boot, mask,
Hmm.
mask, gloves.
heavy duty gloves
Heavy duty gloves.
Heavy duty boot.
and
Heavy duty boot.
gumboots. Okay.
Boot.
Yes. Before he joins the job, he should have some practical training. On the job training has to take place. And he should visit the various areas in the hospital to know where waste is generated, what are the categories of waste, how it has to be separated. Okay. And finally, to know the final disposal options, it is good that he visits the common biomedical waste treatment facility. Okay. So this is the content of your training. Okay. And who are the people whom you are going to train is also mentioned. So you may have around 10 to 12 people in your hospital, or even lesser than that, who will be called for the training. And how will you do the training? It could be informal participatory learning. Informal meaning just sit around with them, ask them what they know, what they don't know. Okay. Demonstrate the various areas in the hospital and where the waste is generated. Observe, ask them to observe how it is being done. Then you can have a discussion and a workshop. You can have a site visit also. Site visit meaning visit your own hospital site or go to another hospital and see how it is being done. So you compare both the hospitals and see where good practices are being done. You can also have an activity. What sort of activity can you have?
Role play activity.
Role play is one thing. Another activity is where, all those color coded bins, you keep it in front of them. Okay. You
Yeah.
take one syringe and ask him where will you put it.
Mm.
Okay. Take one gloves, ask him where will gloves go into?
Red bag.
Red.
Yeah. Okay. So this is an activity. Okay. What we had done when we had done the training program for this five states is we had made some flags, yellow flag, red flag, white, and blue. Okay. And we had the video thing, where we showed the various what do we say, with the various materials. Like for example, we showed gloves on the video. We put gloves and we asked all the participants to show to which color bin it goes. So they had to raise the flag. That is how we made the activity. Okay, so you can plan activities like this in your own hospital. Okay. So the teaching aids could be a flip chart or a manual. I'll show you the flip chart that we have developed. It could be through OHPs, or as I said, waste management practicals can be demonstrated. And playing cards for segregation can also be a teaching aid. Okay. This is collecting background information. I don't think you need to discuss in detail all these with the healthcare workers. This is for the hospital itself, the background information that you need to collect before you start training the people. Okay, this is in general for everybody. It is not specific for waste handlers. Okay, then we evaluate. How do we evaluate? We can do a pre-test and a post-test. We tried doing this, among the waste handlers, but it was quite cumbersome and time consuming. And since there were very few people, 2 or 3 in each hospital, so we could not analyze that. Post test, what happened was some of them had come for the pre-test, and then during the training program in between they had to leave and go, so we could not collect the post test from them. So this is the problem that we faced during our evaluation of the training program. Okay. Okay, I'll show you some of the posters and the flip chart that we developed for the waste handlers. Okay. Yeah.
ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಮತ್ತು C304 ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು
Can you all see this?
No, ma'am.
No. I don't know whether we can share it or not. Now?
No, ma'am.
I don't know how to
Just
do
now
it.
it is visible.
Uh,
Just now it is visible.
now it's visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is a training thing that we did UNIDO project. It is on environmentally sound waste management. Okay, it was a 3 years project. Okay, under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, and the state governments of Gujarat, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Odisha, and Punjab. Okay. I'll just keep changing the thing. You see, tell me if there's any problem that you are not able to see. So this is the contents. This is from the Government of India, UNIDO, abbreviations that I've used, prologue. Okay, this is how we have done it. If you're not able to see, please tell me. Huh? Are you all able to see?
Yes, ma'am. We are able to see.
You're able to see. Okay. November 29 November 2016. So you'll have to talk about like this, what is the hazards of waste to them? Okay. What are the types of biomedical waste? Lesson 3 is preventing infections by use of personal protective equipment, by immunization, and by hand washing. So as I said, this lesson 3, preventing infections, is on my side, and what you show to them is the photograph, this one. Okay. This is segregation of biomedical waste. What is the right method and the wrong method? Okay. So we have put up certain questions and the answers on it. Am I very fast? Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we've finished with segregation into 4 containers. Now we are coming to lesson 5, which is collection of the waste. Now this is a transportation, intramural transportation within the healthcare facility to the storage room. You should always use the lift which is not being used by patients. It should not be used by patients. So you have to find out when the flow of patients are minimal, and that time the transportation can be done. This is the storage. Okay, we call it a sub store or storage room. These are the various categories of waste that you have to put them in. So weighment of the waste is also required because we need to give the common biomedical waste treatment facility the quantum of waste that is generated. Based on that, they will decide how much each hospital has to pay. So it should not be stored beyond 48 hours. This is the hand washing and rub. Next is how to use of personal protective equipments and how it should be worn. What is the correct method? Okay. We have also noticed that most of these people don't use all the PPE. They use some of it only. So this is also a problem that we have faced when we did this, observed for all these during our evaluation. Protective immunization against hepatitis B and TT. That is the responsibility of the hospital to see that all the healthcare workers are immunized against hepatitis B and tetanus. Periodic health check. Annual health checkup is required for the healthcare workers to find out their health status. This is about sharps. If at all you have an injury, what are you supposed to do? Report. So wearing gloves is very important. So do's and don'ts is also mentioned for them. So I will read it, this thing. How are the injuries caused is due to needle stick injury, improperly packaged waste sharps. Okay. How to prevent yourself from getting injured is adequate protective clothing. All sharps should be discarded in puncture-proof containers. Check that waste storage bags and containers are sealed, and the bags should be picked up by the neck. Okay. Sharps may occasionally puncture the side or bottom of a polythene cover. The container should therefore be carried by its handle and should not be supported underneath with a free hand. To avoid puncture or any other damage, waste bags should not be thrown or dropped. Use cleaning equipment to clean the underside and other inaccessible areas of the cupboard. Do not clean by hand. Do not mix the infectious and the general waste. It has also been mentioned what to do in case there's an NSI, needle stick injury. Report the injury. Then details, we have an injury register in which it has to be entered. Post-exposure prophylaxis within 72 hours, depending on the risk evaluation. So this is management of liquid spills. Okay. So the various steps for the spill management. So this is a diagrammatic representation of the spills management. And also, sorry, this is a diagrammatic representation of mercury spills. Now they are saying that mercury has to be phased out as per the new biomedical waste management rules. Chemical spills. So it is almost like any other body fluid spills. The same procedure has to be adopted. Cytotoxic spills. Soiled linen. Use of disinfectants. Housekeeping in healthcare facilities. Management of plastic waste. Lesson 13 is management of glassware and metallic body implants. Management of waste sharps. Management of discarded mattresses goes into the yellow bin. This is the place where the incinerator is there. So it goes into the incinerator. So final treatment by shredding and mutilation followed by incineration. It can also be managed by shredding and sterilization. Management of expired drugs. Management of blood bags. Pre-treated with autoclave or microwave, then sent to yellow. Record keeping very important. Even the waste handlers in the sub-store, they have to keep a record of the quantum of waste that has been given to the CBWTF. Management of accidents while transporting biomedical waste is also a thing that they need to know. Okay. So finally, it is the attitude which has to change. It is very important. So why they're not, some of the hospitals are not able to follow clean practices is because of lack of resources, equipment like bins, trolleys, lack of knowledge, attitude, and training. So when we address all this, some hospitals are kept clean, some are not. Some hotels are kept clean, some are not. But all hospitals should be kept clean. So this is the take-home messages. maybe not useful, waste may not be useful immediately to the user, but harmful if not properly managed. Okay, the various types of waste. Hand washing, clean hands saves lives. PPE reduces the risk of injury. Okay. I'm just showing you one pamphlet to know how it is done. Okay. This finishes the topic. Any questions?
Excellent one, ma'am.
Thank you. So, if you don't have any questions, I will conclude this session and send the PowerPoint presentation to the regional center for dissemination to all of you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
We conclude. Thank you
Okay.
all.
Thank you. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome.
Okay. हाँ हेलो 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 नन्नू ले बेटा ले ये साथ मिला दे किताब कैसे फैला दी मेरी ये है नन्नू ये तो जो लेसन उसकी किताब तो नहीं आई तो फिर बाहर अंदर रख दूं क्या हैं बेटा ना मेरे बैग में तेरे में सब निकाल दिया अंदर अशोक कुमार BHM खा लेंगे यार वेरी गुड अरे चावल मत बना बच्चों को हेलो हाँ सर ये बच्चे थोड़ा प्लीज थोड़ा बैठे लेट आज मैं कुछ पूछ ही नहीं पाया मैडम से 3 दिन में कहाँ से गया लाओ नन्नू कुछ पढ़ते हैं वेरी गुड घेर रही है तरीका ही नहीं है बैठे खाने का हेलो नन्नू जरा देख मैगी खाने के नुकसान याददाश्त कमजोर होती है सुनने की समस्या खून की कमी हो सकती है जोड़ों में समस्या होती है लीवर खराब होता है किडनी भी नुकसान पहुंचता है शरीर की क्षमता कम बढ़ती है न्यूरोलॉजिकल डिसऑर्डर आ जाते हैं लेड से होने वाले नुकसान का असर काफी 10,000 सिविल डिफेंस वॉलंटियर्स होंगे बर्खास्त CM ने की सिफारिश कहीं ऑटो बुक हो रहा है। 9 surprising benefits of the walking post dinner. टेस्ट ले लूं मैं तक।
नहीं, नो 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 नो। पापा कितने बज गए? पापा कितने बज गए? कितने बज गए? कितने बज गए? पापा
पाक।
कितने बज गए?
अरे अभी जाके जाए सुबह।
पापा कितने बज गए? पापा कितने बज गए? पापा
चल बता।
कितने बज
मिनट
गए?
वर्ड्स ये क्या है? रानी ये कौन है?
रानी लक्ष्मीबाई।
ये
ऑटो।
छत्रपति शिवाजी। ये
रविंद्रनाथ टैगोर।
और ये
महात्मा गांधी, डॉक्टर साहब अम्बेडकर,
डॉक्टर बाबा साहब भीमराव अम्बेडकर। ये
भगत सिंह,
ये
जवाहरलाल नेहरू।
ये
नहीं पता।
बाल गंगाधर तिलक। ये अब्दुल कलाम आजाद। ये
नेताजी
सुभाष
सुभाष
बोस।
चंद्र
ये सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल। लाला
लाल
लाजपत
बहादुर
राय
शास्त्री।
सिर पकड़ी बांधते थे। देखो हमारे क्या गैलेक्सी है, अर्थ है, क्या है? हाँ
सन, मून,
वीनस।
यूरेनस,
हाँ
नेपच्यून, जुपिटर, मरकरी, वीनस, स्टार्स, सैटर्न, मार्स।
एक गाना आया था, लड्डू खा के जाना में चार्ज हो जाएगा फिर। अरे यार अब उठा देख लेना। दोनों फ्रेश ही हैं।
अब देखिए 4 भी बज गए।
पहले मैं आपसे बताता हूँ पहले से 10 बजे से खुलती है। ऑर्डर मेकिंग यार कपड़े निकालूं क्या?
वो देख रही हूँ 4 बज गए। मैं भी देखूंगी चंद्रयान का 3। वो नहीं देख रही मैं, तो कुछ और देख रही हूँ। मैंने मेरे पता है वही चंद्रयान मिशन का कोई दूसरा लिंक भेजा हुआ। ऐसे देख लिया।
एक बात काम करो।
मैं 2 बार बता।
अंदर
सुनना है आपको?
मैं नहीं सुन रहा।
चंद्रयान 3 का है।
क्या है?
मैं चंद्रयान 3 का भेजा हमारा।
पढ़ो भाई। क्या है?
शिक्षा मंत्रालय के वरिष्ठ अधिकारियों को प्रणाम, सभी शिक्षकगणों को और विशेषकर हमारे प्रिय छात्रों को आप सभी को हार्दिक स्वागत। चंद्रयान 3 की सफलता की सबसे बड़ी उपलब्धि की यदि बात की जाए तो उसे हम सब भारत वासियों का अंतरिक्ष कार्यक्रमों के प्रति जो हमारा
हो गया
चंद्रयान 3 की यात्रा
चंद्रयान 3
बहुत बड़ा था।
हार्दिक स्वागत मंत्रालय के वरिष्ठ अधिकारी सभी कक्षाओं की शिक्षा
अच्छा
नन्नू पटल पूछूंगा मैं हाँ
हार्दिक स्वागत अभिनंदन शिक्षा मंत्रालय के वरिष्ठ अधिकारियों को प्रणाम सभी शिक्षकों को और विशेषकर हमारे छात्रों को आप सभी का स्वागत। चंद्रयान 3 की सफलता की सबसे बड़ी उपलब्धि की यदि बात की जाए तो उसने हम सब भारतवासियों का अंतरिक्ष कार्यक्रमों के प्रति सम्मान किया है।
गाड़ी की हेडलाइट हो गई ठीक है तो उन्होंने क्या ब्राउन हर कलर लगा दी उससे ट्रांसपेरेंसी दिखाई दे सकती थी आप तो क्या होगा देखिए मैं बात कर रहा हूं कितने एडवांस देखिए ना क्या है बता दो क्या है एक टेस्ट ट्यूब है उसमें डिपोज रख दिया मिक्सचर ऑफ क्या है उसमें रहने वाला उसको है टॉपिक है you know that I am science student
बायोलॉजी ढूंढ के लिखा है
तो है क्या है प्योर जितनी समस्या और होगी मैं एक चीज कह रहा है इसको सुनो और बस क्या हुआ रात में तो सुना रात में देख मैं देख उधर ही घूम रहा सुना हूं और देख रही हूं आए हैं तो सर क्या हुआ मैंने उसको बोल दी अभी एक चढ़ा नेक्स्ट वाले सुन लो बेटा सब जो है क्या
चंद्रयान 3 लॉन्च हुआ है उसको मैंने भेजी स्पेशल वीडियो सपोर्ट
नमक बिल्कुल डाला
मैंने कम डाला है नमक डाला है मैंने कम नहीं डाला ऐसे बनो खा लगे ना मैं लड़ते हो हम ये सही है उल्टा नमक ये चला डाला कब तक होने डाल कितना डाला है चला डाल
आई लव
हां तो सारा मोटी पीछे दिया
तो बोले यार अब पढ़ देखो आज समझ से समझा दे मैं तो गलत है हम कमेंट था
थोड़ी तरह और सब
एक काम करो कोई
क्या
तो लोग ज्यादा जल्दी मेरे को
क्यों
गिरा देंगे
मैं जाएगा हम एक पे
अरे नन्नू तू ऐसा कर पापा को ला दे अंदर से
अपने यहाँ 30 में छाप लाए और घर लगाया अपना
तो मैं इसलिए गांव में नहीं बनती
क्यों बोला ऐसे नहीं बनता क्या
हम भी गांव में ये सब शुरू हो
पता
गया
है
अब चुन्नी डालते से
गाँव में
बनती भी गांव से तेरे चाहिए ना वहां गिट्ट टूटेगा थोड़ी पता है सब शुरू हो जाता
मैं
है
मानो तो गाँव में अगर मैं खाना शुरू करता हूँ हाथ में क्या
बड़ी बना टूटी
हर क्लास कब तक है
तो जब डरने को डाटा भी क्या कर
बच्चे गांव में भी चेंज हुआ टाइमिंग पता है बच्चे भी बता रहे
तो
ये डॉक्टर से टाइम चेंज हुआ गांव में जाते बच्चे फिर भी
बोल लिया
फिर तो आराम से 8 बजे तो
ना 7 से 6
चलिए अपन तेरे बच्चा अपने आराम से गाँव घूमती रोटी खा जाएगी रोटी खा के दवाई ले जाएगी और शाम अम्मा और शाम को 4 मिनट टाइम तो आ जाएगी घुमाना मैं क्या दीदी ने कहा 10 घंटे वाला
दे देती हूं
ते ली दोन छोटे
हां
राइट घूमती घूमती रोटी खा के आदत मिल जाएगी आराम से
बोल क्या किए
कुछ नहीं है
नो गांव के पर तरफ घर से
घूम आती है दीदी मैंने तो उसके रवि के दीदी को ये बाकी है
बिल्कुल रखती हां
है गानी क्या उसको
काम करो बेटा
तुम्हारे की
मन लक्ष्मी भाई जाने यार अकेला बना
मैंने तो आना है कि हम दो हमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं है दीदी मैंने घर से आने से मैं हम कहां में आऊं मैं वहां पे घर पर से छुट्टी करने जैसा
तो वो रहे बच्चे बहुत अच्छी नहीं है
आप आ जाना एक रात चलना बच्चे को लिया ना उनके मैं से घर ही नहीं आऊंगा डॉक्टर
हेलो बटर बना
और मैं सारे भाई
नहीं
करे सब
नंदे नंदे ना
आइए ना करे तो आइए
हां
क्या करी कराटे
बेटा ए बटर का तो खा के तू है ना क्या किया गुन खाने का
आप सारे दिए अरे लंबी लिए लंबी
आज है कम था क्या
नहीं ये छोटा लगा आप दूर ढक कर दी तो मलाई का तो निकलेगी
अरे भाई अपना
छोटा मोटा से वाला बैठ दिया छोटा मोटा से चले गया
दुनिया की हर जा सारा हैं
सही है
जाओ दिन काम में भाई घूम ले
मैं घूम जाते हैं वहां से चले जाएंगे हम लोग ऊपर नीचे बात
और लाते हो उसे
हैं
अच्छा शाम में खाना
आइए टाइम हो गया इसका टाइम कर दिया है
हैं
मैं बच्चों ला रहा हूं
चलो नहीं है
रहने दे
अनुश्री अरे यार बच्चों में भी है, सामान भी है।
दोनों
हाँ
कब ना जाओ
नाम ही बता दो मुझे।
पढ़ लिया नहीं?
ये बनाता है मैडम मिट्टी में बैठा दूं मैंने घर बैठी टीवी बनाया है
हाँ कितने में बनाया?
दिखा दो टुकड़े वाला दिखा के
मैंने दिखाया।
बनाती नहीं मुझे
चुप रहो पागल। नहीं
हमको बनाती है आज इसने कहा हंसी मारी इसने क्या बनाई कौन सी बनाई किसने बनाई
फोन रहेगा
ले बेटी
नाम तो होने दो।
अरे यार पापा
जी कर लो ना
जी खत्म हो गया।
दो रोटी में
तो नहीं खा दो। अरे मुझे नहीं बात करना फटाफट से गई कर। जो पढ़ो से
अबे सुना सुना दे जरा कसम से क्लिक कर
बोल बोल बैठ गई।
थोड़ा समझ लो क्या है हम क्या मतलब एडजस्टमेंट नहीं बैठा
मैंने सारा कुछ खत्म कर दिया
मोटी बड़ी जोड़ में बैठा तो वो चुटा के लो मैं को गांव के खुद में परिदृश्य बन गई ये चूल्हा बड़े दस बार नहीं रहा
बारह का आदमी चलेगी देख कहां चलेगी तेरा फोन में फोन नहीं कर दी काम नहीं हो बारह बजे चलेगा फिर को पढ़ा में जब बारह कब आएगा बाय नाइट ड्यूटी करना है
थोड़ा खाने की ना
आया मैं टाइम मिल जाता है
पता है जब फोटो जाए हाथ से क्या देख का जी खा रहे हैं